Hey, coming to you from the porch. You know me, I'm always thinking and trying to figure out the key to life. That's me, Hannah, I own it. And I was thinking about something tonight. I think this is important to talk about. I think one of the greatest gifts you can give your children is to tell them this. No matter where you wander in this world, if something doesn't feel right, come on back home. Don't hesitate. If a relationship of any kind doesn't work out and you need somewhere to go, bring yourself right back here. You don't have to explain it all first. You don't have to prove why you left. If you want to talk about it, I'm all ears. If you want your privacy, I understand that too. Just know this. There's a warm place to sleep, something to eat, and somebody glad that you're home. If you lose your job and everything suddenly falls apart, come on back home. If the plans you were so sure about don't work out, come on back home. If you just get tired and lost in this big old chaotic world, home is waiting. I don't care how big or how little my house is or where I'm living at the time. We'll make room. It might be a beautiful spare bedroom. It might be a sofa. Heck, depending on how many people have come home at the same time, we might be negotiating over who gets the good pillow. But we'll make room. Come on back home for a night, for a month, or forever if that's what you need. Because I believe every soul walks a little stronger through this world when they know there's somebody back home rooting for them. Somebody with the light on, food on the table, a warm bed waiting, and maybe a plate of biscuits and jelly sitting on the stove. Now, I can't promise they're going to be fresh biscuits at midnight. Mama loves you, but she does have operating hours. We'll warm 'em up. You'll survive. But there'll be food and there'll be love. And that's the important part. Now, I realize your children may never need to come back. They may build wonderful lives of their own and never need that bed. I hope they do. But keep the light on anyway. Keep the biscuits warm anyway. Because knowing they can come on back home may be one of the very things that gives them the courage to go out into this world in the first place. And coming back home isn't failure. Starting over isn't failure. Changing direction isn't failure. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can say is, "This isn't working. I need to go back home." And when they say it, that's probably not the time for, "Well, I told you so." They probably already know. They've probably told themselves 100 times. Just open the door. There'll be time for talking tomorrow. There'll be time for figuring out what comes next. For tonight, let home be home. Home is only a 4-letter word. But Lord, what that little word ought to mean: safety, comfort, love, refuge. It doesn't mean that for everybody, and that's a sad truth. But if you're a mama or daddy who can make home mean those things to your children, do it, no matter how old they get. I've thought a lot about family as I've gotten older, and I think one of this nation's big failures may be sitting silently right in front of our eyes. Somewhere along the way, I think we started confusing independence with separation. Now, don't misunderstand me. I want children to be independent. Go build a life, work, travel, fall in love, take chances, build something that's yours. If little Doug wakes up one Tuesday morning and decides he's going to move to South America and live in the jungle, well, Godspeed, little Doug. Mama ain't going. There's bugs down there bigger than my purse, but you go live your life. Have your adventure. Just call occasionally so I know something hasn't eaten you. And if 6 months later, little Doug discovers jungle living ain't quite what he saw on the brochure, come on back home, Doug. Your bed's still here. We'll wash the jungle off of you and figure out what comes next. That's what I call independence with a foundation underneath it. There's a difference. I don't believe raising independent children should mean raising children who think, once I leave this house, I'm on my own, and I'd better never need anybody again. Whatever happened to, we're family. We'll figure it out. The desire to do better, make more, own more, and go farther can be a wonderful thing, but somewhere in all that striving, I don't want us to lose togetherness. Because you can give your children wings without cutting off their roots. I guess most folks around my age probably have grandchildren by now. Me? I have 6 grandchildren and 2 soon-to-be step-grandchildren. 8 kids in the tribe altogether. Lord, that's enough people to form a committee, start an argument, and still have a few left over. They range from grown to one little kindergartner. 3 of them are driving now. And I don't know exactly when that happened because I'm pretty sure they were all babies about 15 minutes ago. But one thing I'm grateful for is that they stick together. I don't see them. They rarely ever visit. But if one of them needed a bed, they'd have it. My son has always loved family. He wanted a big family all his life, and that's exactly what he's got. He wants them all to be together too and will always offer a resting place if they need it. It feels good to know he has that kind of love for his children too. He experienced the rejection my mother extended to me, so I guess it had a profound effect on him to make sure his kids never wondered if they were loved, and I think there's something important in that. We have to teach children how to be family. They don't automatically know how. Teach them to be there for one another and to forgive. Our kids need to know how important forgiveness is. Teach the older ones to look out for the younger ones. Did your older brothers and sisters look out for you? Are you close today? I feel you gotta teach the younger ones that one day those older ones may need them too. Teach them that their brothers' or sisters' success doesn't take anything away from their own, and mama and daddy have an important job in that. Don't pit your children against one another. Don't carry something one child said over to another one just to stir things up. Don't make one child the golden one and another one the family problem. Don't build little alliances inside your own family. There's a word for that, triangulation. And all it really does is pull a family apart. Because mama won't always be here, and daddy won't always be here. And when we're gone, what do we want left behind? A group of grown brothers and sisters who barely speak because they spent 40 years competing against each other? Or grown children who know, that's my brother, that's my sister. We may fuss like cats in a feed sack sometimes, but when something happens, I'm there. That's family. I think togetherness ought to be one of mama and daddy's biggest goals when they're raising one. Not control, connection. There's a big difference, and right in the middle of all of it is one ingredient I don't think any family can afford to leave out. Unconditional love. Now, unconditional love does not mean unconditional approval. Mercy? No. Your children can do things you disagree with. They can make decisions that make you want to walk out on the porch, stare off into the distance, and ask the Lord exactly what he was thinking. You can have boundaries. You can say no. You can tell them the truth. You can say, I love you more than life itself, but you ain't doing that in my house. That's not a lack of love. Unconditional love means your mistakes don't erase your place in my heart. That's the gift. You don't have to earn your way back into being my child. You already are, and you always will be. Count your blessings if you've still got a mama or daddy smiling when you walk through that door. Count them twice if their face still lights up when the phone rings and your name comes across that screen, because there are people in this world who would give almost anything to walk through one particular door just one more time. And hear somebody say, well, look who's home. And if you're the mama or daddy now, be that door. We're living through some hard times. Relationships fail, jobs disappear, money gets tight, people get sick. Dreams don't always work out the way they looked in our heads, and life can turn upside down between breakfast and supper. You can't protect your children from every storm they'll ever encounter, and you shouldn't try. But you sure can make certain they know where the shelter is. A mama and daddy who truly love their children will still be smiling when one of those kids walks through that door. Or when that phone rings and their voice is on the other end, whether they're 7, 27, or 57. Sometimes being somebody's refuge in the storm is one of the greatest gifts you'll ever give them. So let them grow. Let them wander. Let them build lives of their own. Let little Doug go live in the jungle if that's what little Doug needs to do. But back home, keep the light on. Keep a place at the table. Keep an extra blanket folded on the bed. And keep a few biscuits around. Make sure every one of those children knows the road back home is always open. Because one day, somebody you love might just need to find their way back. And when they do, open the door. That's what home is for. This is Hannah Cedars from the Appalachian Sage. Thanks for listening to me. I think we have to be there for each other and remind each other of the important things sometimes. I'll see you next time.